What is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these bad mother effing Fords, we all love to drive. This is your all-terrain nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. And where is everybody? What is going on, man? I come back from the Detroit, and now everybody's gone. They've left me. I'm all by myself. Allie may be in. I know she was having some modem issues or something. And I don't know if Kelly's dropping in. We'll figure that out if she does. But Kelly is in Detroit. What a strange weekend we've had, and I'm going to fill you in a little bit on that. But I hope everybody here is doing well. So honest, I just literally ordered your shirt, and you're going to love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I sent Honest. Honest has been very kind to us over the years, and so I just sent Honest a very custom shirt. I would show y'all, but he would see it, and then I want his surprise when it comes in the mail. I think next Monday, Honest, is when it said something like that. Anyways, this is tonight is Bronco Talk Live. That's right, we're back with some Bronco Talk, and I wanna talk about our beloved little SUV because there's some changes coming, and I want to see where you guys think the changes are. I've done this a few months ago, and I thought, well, changes are coming really quickly because guess what? Woodward Dream Cruise. It's when they seem to like to drop things and some new colors, some new changes. It's coming, and I want y'all to be ready, and I want to discuss, and I want to see what you guys think might happen because I've been pondering this since I was in Detroit, and I thought, hey, it's, the land of Broncos. I drove pretty close to Map. It was near the airport, and why not think about Broncos when I was in Detroit this past weekend? But it's very strange. Eric, yes, definitely. We got to figure out where we're going to connect. If you want to ride up, I think Eric, I'm gonna leave Thursday night to get somewhere in Kentucky, and we definitely can convoy up together if you would like. But yes, we got Sand Dunes coming up this week. But to give you a little bit of the backstory for tonight, yes, first bourbon. Oh, that reminds me. Thank you for Christopher. I need a little touch of the fun, or maybe a lot of touch of the fun. Loose lips sink ships, isn't that right? If you guys knew where I was at this weekend. But cheers, everybody. But yeah, so I've had a busy travel week, and so we started out. I was invited to a press event, can't say just yet, and 6 a.m. flight, which means for me 3 a.m. to get up, get ready, and the Nashville airport's only about 40 minutes from me, so not too far away. But I use a shuttle service, so I park my car somewhere, use a shuttle service. By the time you get over there, because I didn't have Kelly with me, you guys know Kelly's my brain. She keeps me organized and where I'm supposed to be. I got in the wrong security line, and I had to go out. I somehow got in the TSA line. I don't have pre just yet. I have clear. So clear usually gets me through it, but clear wasn't open at the Nashville airport at 4 or whatever a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it was. And so I had to go in, with the peasants, which I'm normally the peasant. So I'm only kind of playing about that, but somehow, yeah, I got all the way to TSA, put my license in their little card reader, and he goes, do it again. And he goes, oh, you can't be in this line. And I was like, shit. So I had to leave that line, go out to the normal line because once again, clear wasn't open just yet. And I made my flight with about 15 minutes to spare. I made my flight, but flew up to Detroit, spent the afternoon in Detroit, and well, Delta Airlines. I didn't book this flight. The manufacturer that I was talking to booked this flight for me. And well, Delta bit me in the ass a little bit. Luckily, not like others have. Others have really paid the consequences, got their flights delayed. And of course, I'm in the tail end of all their problems, thank God. And but yeah, my flight was supposed to leave out at like 9:30, something like that. I had a couple hour delay. I got home around midnight, and then the fun really starts because I forgot we had a softball tournament with our little one who's in Detroit with Mama Bear this week. And yeah, so I had to be up at 6 a.m. for a 7 a.m. game time for, So it was a complete disaster. As Kelly, I never fall asleep. I fell asleep under our tent in the ground waiting for another game. It's the most uncomfortable thing ever. Rainstorms came through, made it even worse. And yet I'm here to tell the tale. So what is going on, everybody? I really do hope you guys are having a great Monday. Even my Mondays kind of went to shit. just went to shit in my normal life. So hopefully this gets better. First big gulp of whiskey tonight, so that should help, make everything fun, right? But yes, pre-check, Douglas Blair, pre-check. I definitely I we've been putting it off for some reason. I have no idea why. I think because I pay for clear service and it's always done me right of like I can get in and out pretty quick. I still have to take the shoes off and all that, but for business travel, it's not been too bad. But yes, I do need to go ahead and get my TSA pre-check done. And supposedly I guess Clear can do that now. But let's keep the tradition going, which we haven't done in a while. All right, Kelly was texting me there. Yeah, it's I'm not Kelly. I don't have the chest for it, but we'll attempt to do this anyway. So we'll go ahead and say Rob Hallmark, who I believe, Rob, did you become a supporting member if I remember right? If I saw correctly, thank you, sir, for that. That gives you the big old clapperoos on that one because supporting members help quite a bit. And right now, I'll be honest, YouTube is the money wise, it's just been sucking. Like badly. July's always bad for us for whatever reason. I'm assuming all of our people that would watch are out doing something with their vehicles as they should be. But it's always kind of down for us. Eric Jefferson is in the house. Jefferson, sorry. And yeah, we need to get our situation right so we can convoy over to the dunes. Honest, he's talking about that custom shirt. We got Christopher in the house. Yo, ATN fan, what's going on? Bryce Gardner is here. Jessica is in the house. Happy Monday. And yes, happy Monday to you, Jessica. Hope you're doing great. Bug Guy 8829 is in the house. Bug Guy's been here for a long time, man. I appreciate that. Michael Cooper is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Douglas Blair, he's giving the old LOLs and only in the Navy. I don't even want to know. Anna Smith is showing us some love there. Kelly, long time. That's great. Unbridled Bronco. Jess is in the house, and Jess is in a new house. So congratulations. You got to do the old pause again. Congratulations, Jess and Mark. The love story that would be. They're two crazy Bronco people. They met each other in East Tennessee at the Stampede, and now they're living together. I don't know. I mean, that's a high five. That's a here. Put it up there. Wait. There you go, Jess. There you go. High five on that. But congratulations, you two crazy kids, man. I'm glad to see two Bronco people working it out and making it work for the better. Mobile is in the house. Fight Nation is up. Let's see. Alcione Ford is here. Miss Laura is in the house, and I cannot wait to drag race you, Laura. Whip your ass, man. I'll do it in the Bronco or the Ranger Raptor. I prefer the Ranger Raptor though, because I know I would win that way. Let's see who else is in the house. Gia Hogue is in the house. What's going on, girl? Gia, will we see you? I believe we'll see you at the Sand Dunes. I believe, hopefully, but that's going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun because I'm new to for one, you guys know I'm from Ohio, so me and Michigan don't always get along. But Michigan is a beautiful state, and I cannot wait to see. I have never been on that side of the state, so I cannot wait to see that. I guess Ann Arbor, which only because the Ford dealerships up there that we go to is near Ann Arbor, so that's the only reason I ever go near Ann Arbor. But that's about as close as I've gotten to the dunes tonight. Oh, Long MacArthur, if you would like to join in tonight, I would not say no to having a friend come in because I know where you were and I know what we can't talk about, but it's it's a beautiful time when we get to talk about things and your beautiful information that you carry, especially with ordering, which I do want to talk about a little bit because Arts, where you at, Tim? Let's see here. Sorry, you guys are catching me in the old emails. All right, just say no, Tim. That's what I'm putting as the email. If you want to, once again, I know you're a busy person, and always like to throw that out there. Embargo night. Oh, what's being embargoed, Douglas? What is going on? No, Tim is not good. Tim has his own event coming up this weekend, which is I was going to go to it till I'd already said I was going to the dunes, but I'm definitely going to Kansas. We'll click my shoes twice and wish for a Coyote engine in the next Bronco. How about that? That'll work, right? But yes, you do. Yeah, that I I keep kick. Laura, if I could figure out a way to make that Raptor work in my household. Laura Alcione Ford has a hell of a deal right now on a 24 8,000, I believe, off is what she's got on a new black, beautiful blacked out Bronco Raptor. And if I could figure it out how to do it, Laura, I would definitely do it. But I couldn't make the content work, or I'd buy it. I'd buy it for the channel if I could make the content work, but I can't. Sadly, I think with 25s coming up in the refresh that we're going to talk about a little bit, I don't think it would move the needle for my channel. So, damn it. Let's see. Deal me in for a 24 says, don't worry, Laura. You can't beat Dave. Yeah, he doesn't know how to give it the beans. Well, cheers. Cheers on the beans. But we'll get into I do want to talk a little bit before I get into we'll talk a little bit about the old Bronco news. Sand dunes coming up, very excited. So when I flew back to Tennessee from Detroit, literally the next day, Kelly drove to Detroit. And you would think, hey, couldn't you make this somehow figure out how to make this work? And sadly, we couldn't. Kelly's job just wasn't going to allow it on this trip. So this has been one of the first press trips she's not been on with me. I used to do some by myself, and she started joining in. They were a lot of fun to have my silly wife with me. This one was by myself. But so yeah, so she is up there. She went, and last night it was funny. She got a late start because of that softball tournament. My daughter was like one game away from the championship. Damn it. And so we didn't get in till probably, I guess, 11 p.m. or so, probably Friday night, or Saturday night. And then she had to get up early. What she thought she was going to be up early and didn't leave, I don't think, till about 11 here, 9.5 hour drive, something like that. She got to see the new train station that Ford remodeled, which I got to see Friday. I drove right by it Friday, and that was really cool. I have to say, I like old architecture, so it always is fun to me. I made sure the driver that picked me up drove me by there. I said, hey, I want to check this thing out. So I got to see that, which is pretty freaking cool. And so she's got a funny story. Now I wish Kelly was here. And let me do this real quick. Let me work some magic. We're gonna have to do this kind of old school, but see if I can make this work.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly Boyd. You're live on Ford Talk podcast. How's it going, girl?
How did I know you were going to call me live on ATN?
Guys, give me a thumbs up if you can hear Kelly, by the way. Well, I'm curious because I was just talking about, I'm sure you're not watching, but I was just talking about your trip up to Detroit. And I was curious, you got to Toledo, Ohio, and you thought you were going to do something fun. Can you fill in the audience what you thought was going to be fun?
Yeah, so I thought Sydney and I both thought it would be funny if I took a picture of the Bronco in front of the Jeep sign.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the Jeep sign is at the plant. There's the big Jeep logo, and you can pull right in front of it for context.
And there's usually a Jeep out there in front of it a lot of time too.
Right.
So we thought it would be funny, and so we see the sign that says Jeep Parkway, and so we're like, oh, here it is. So we get off, and definitely not Jeep Parkway. I mean, it is Jeep Parkway, but it is not where the big Jeep sign is. And we may or may not have felt like we needed to get out of that area pretty quickly.
Really? So it wasn't pleasant, right?
No, it definitely wasn't. I mean, it could have been because we were in an unfamiliar area. Maybe it wasn't, but it just, when you see like abandoned buildings everywhere and things, you start to kind of think that, maybe
you think Toledo, Ohio, basically.
Maybe people aren't living here for a reason, like kind of thing. So Yeah, so we quickly got a picture in front of a factory over there, and then we got back on the interstate. And then
But you got a picture in front
miles,
of the Dana plant.
Who
makes axles, not the Jeep dealership.
No. But there was a Jeep out in front of the Dana plant.
It's probably broken down, right?
No, it was on display.
Oh, okay.
The Dana factory. So then we get back on the interstate, and about 3 or 4 miles down the road, then we see the Jeep sign on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
And Sid and I both decided we had gambled enough that we figured we would just go ahead and keep driving down the road.
So what you're saying is you didn't feel like it was a really comfortable area to be out in.
Yeah, no, it definitely, we two girls not really knowing the area, we felt like we probably weren't in the greatest of places to kind of be as the dusk,
right?
As dusk was kind of approaching.
Well, it's funny because I had told you that when I was up on my press trip that I was in Friday, that I told you I got to drive by the Ford train, well, not Ford train station, the Michigan train station, which Ford, I guess, remodeled and is using. And I guess what, curiosity killed the cat on that, right? You thought, hey, I need to figure this out and see this too.
Yeah, so we were driving actually past, and I didn't really see it because I was trying to pay attention on 75 and make sure that I was putting myself in a safe situation from a traveling perspective. And all of a sudden, Sydney's head turned and kept focused, and she's like, "What is that?" And so I quickly went. I said, "I bet that's where your dad was the other day." And I said, I kind of looked at her and I said, "Do you want to turn around and actually go?" And she's like, "Yes."
But the problem was you let her put in the navigation.
Yeah. So this has been a pretty good learning trip for her and I together. And so
mom, and whether mom doesn't kill daughter or daughter doesn't kill mom, is that what you're saying?
No. It was really kind of hey, see why I didn't do that driving? Because she's at that impressionable age where she's going to be driving, starting to drive a little bit in the next couple of years. So I've been trying to kind of use it as a learning trip. And she put the train station in Waze, and before we knew it, we were on the opposite side of 75 than where we needed to be. And it was getting very dark, and again, abandoned buildings. And we were really kind of feeling, it was the first time that I've really kind of, my gut went, you need to turn around now and get out.
Well, because I told you I'd seen some homeless in the area and that you should be cautious, because we were talking on the phone.
We weren't even at that point yet where you had told me that you had seen homeless in the area. We literally were in the area where there were no lights anywhere. There were no street lights. There were no anything. There was a stoplight that we stopped at. And I quickly put the address in for the correct train station. And so we ended up getting back there, thankfully, and got our pictures, and which if you following on Instagram, you can see the picture there, and the one of Sydney and I together, and then of course the picture of the Bronco in front of the train station. So we got to see it. It was a very cool area. And then we kind of just quickly got back on I-75 and got out of there and then headed towards my parents.
Well, it was funny you were telling me how quickly you forgot, some of the dangerous areas. You haven't lived in Detroit in quite a while, but you were like, "Oh yeah, there are some." Hey, Sydney, remember? There are places, and I mean, even in Nashville, we have these places. But
for sure. Well, it's funny because I was telling my parents today, and I actually told them, I was like, "Hey, remember this street?" And I was like, "I remember us as kids being like, this street, you just keep driving by, you don't turn down it, you don't do any of that." And I was driving past it with my daughter in the car, and so there's where that true mama bear kind of kicks in, and you go, man, I'm really responsible for this human right now. And I remember being the one that somebody else was responsible for in the back seat, and I'm not comfortable with the turn of events of where we are right now. So we quickly made a change and got out of there as quickly as we could.
Yeah. No, it is. It's definitely, if you don't know the area, you can forget real quick of oh yeah, there is danger out there. And then the parenting part kicks in and you're like, there is danger.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do. And I'm glad those instincts are still there, even though you sometimes get excited about seeing things. Those instincts still kind of kick in from time to time.
Yes, yes. And so I'll bring this up real quick. This is where Kelly was at. So this is her picture that she quickly did in front of the train station there, as you can see. And it's on Instagram.
And I noticed after the fact, it's a little bit blurry, the one of Sydney and I together, but we were just so eager to like get the picture and get out. We weren't we weren't really worried about the quality of the picture.
Right. Let's flee danger quickly. Very nice area though. Very in turn. That area is definitely definitely a pretty cool area. So I'm glad you got to see it though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was super cool. I wish I could have gotten closer, but they had the drive on both entrances to it were coned off. And so they wouldn't let us get that close, and then the road behind it was shut down.
But you're in a Bronco. You could have just drove right through the lawn.
I didn't want to get arrested.
Oh, okay.
So, like 10:30 at night, you don't really want to cause or, call attention to yourself in that kind of way. So,
so I have one more. I know you're busy with hanging out with the family, but I do have one. It's related to the show tonight. Your first big trip this long in the Bronco by yourself, right?
Yeah.
What was kind of your thoughts and impressions? Now, obviously we've done a few things to it, but you've put some miles on it, but you've never drove 10 hours straight.
Yeah, not by myself. I don't think I've ever driven it this far kind of by myself. It's definitely, after we've spent as much time as we have in the Ranger for the last couple of months, kind of going to ball tournaments and things like that, you definitely notice the complaints that a lot of people make of having an open air capable vehicle, because it's loud. Even with the hard top, it is loud on the road. And that kind of plays into it. So you find that you're putting your music up louder and, the things, because the sound system isn't fabulous, which we've all talked about, even though the tuning and things can happen. So you don't have that great stereo system in it. So that kind of starts to get on your nerves a little bit down the road. But, just like anything, you start to get a little achy sitting in a car that long, but nothing where I feel like any other vehicle would have done a better job at that, if that makes sense, because it was super comfortable. Like, my mom has back issues and a hip issue and a knee issue, and we actually drove in it tonight, and she was like, man, these seats are actually pretty comfortable, like uncoerced. And she just kind of volunteered that. So, that to be seen, and they are a GM household. So for them to say something nice, sometimes that's a challenge.
Well, if it was a Nissan, we know they weren't going to say anything nice.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But, to kind of roll back to the beginning of your question, it was great, but it definitely is. I've noticed the tires are louder. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen, doing that and lifting it a little bit. It's overall, the interior is a little bit louder, I think. But I was also, driving decent speed as well. There were a couple times I noticed that there was there was a little tire wobble almost, but I think it's just,
they are due to be balanced.
So so there's that, but nothing like no like death wobble that you'll get in the, the Wranglers or things like that. Yeah. It's just a little bit of that.
When you're on a big MT tire, they're not going to be the smoothest thing, but overall, pretty good experience, huh?
Yeah, overall it was great. It's been an overall great trip. I know Sydney was super excited to sit in the front seat. Probably within the first 30 minutes, she was like, this is a pretty awesome way to travel. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, from the front seat. So she was pretty happy the whole trip being in the front seat versus the back seat.
Well, good. Anything that you would change after that long drive? Anything that you would think that they should change for 2025?
Well, the big elephant in the room regarding seats is, for me, would be cooled seats would be super nice to have that change. The heated seats are great, but at the same point, sometimes you just, especially if you're getting tired when you're driving, the cooled seats would be nice to kind of like perk you up, wake you up a little bit.
Right.
The other thing, adaptive cruise would have been really nice on this trip. I noticed myself having to kind of come off cruise a lot.
Yeah. Had we won a spring for, the high package on that, we probably, and I think we both kick each other on that now, but you definitely live and learn on that.
For sure. We didn't think we needed it at the time, but I definitely see the benefits now that we've had it with the Raptor.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cool. Well, I don't want to keep you from your family too long.
No, we appreciate it.
But we definitely are going to see you Friday evening sometime. We will be in Elmore. I forget the name of the town that the dunes are actually.
It's actually Mears, Michigan.
That's right.
Is where we'll be.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it'll be at Silver Lake Sand Dunes.
Yeah, so I'm very pumped about it. I've got to get the Ranger Raptor ready, and I think I gave you all of our flags and everything, so we're good to go on that.
Yeah, I think you made me carry it all with me.
Well, it's nice part of me, right? Yeah. Well, cool. Well, go enjoy your family and tell them all I said hi. Tell them All Terrain Nation said hi. So, guys, smash the like button for Kelly there, and we will talk to her down the road.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Thanks, everybody, for listening tonight. Sorry I couldn't be with you, but we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, there you go. That was Miss Kelly Boyd up there, and I've got a man, the myth, the legend here in the green room. He's got a big event coming up that I actually do want to talk about as well. But yeah, I was curious Kelly's take. There's like I said, there's a few things that might sway us. There is a color that I have a feeling's coming on the 25s that would and if they do something really cool with the Bronco, R21 might be for sale. I'm just going to say that some things that I know Tim's seen a color on something fun coming up that might sway him as well, but we can't talk about these things at all, unfortunately. Not tonight anyways. But so let me bring the man up, and I always do this last minute, and he's always too kind to come in. Just way too kind. But well, he's tiny there. Wait, there we go. Mr. Tim Bartz is in the house. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm sure you're doing show prep for tomorrow night, and you're probably like, Dave, I didn't have time for this.
I was editing a bunch of videos, and I just got home a little bit ago. So you know what that's about. So working on some things that are later this week.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Very nice. I was very impressed with what we saw. We'll just leave it at that. So we can't say too much about it. I will say there's a Ford red color that I haven't seen in a long time that I hope makes it to Bronco, because then I'm excited. I think they put this color on the first gen Raptors, if I remember right. This kind of a reddish color that I saw, if I remember right. But anyways, first off, before we go too far, you've got an event coming up this week too, right?
Yes.
So tell us about it. What's going on there?
So we did this last couple years, just at a Maverick meetup. And the kind of concept was just, kind of like Supercell kind of for Broncos, but let's do it for Mavericks. And then there's a lot of other groups that have gotten together and done Maverick events. But so last couple of years, there were several people that said, I'd come, but I don't have a Maverick, but I'd love to come and hang out with you guys. It's like, okay, so this year we decided just to make it a meetup, bring whatever vehicle you have or whatever. And let's just hang out. We're gonna go for kind of like Bronco does, Supercell does. We're gonna go for a drive on Friday and go see. There's not a lot to see in Kansas, but there are a couple, historic places to go. And so we're gonna hit a couple of those on Friday, and then Saturday do a cars and coffee where everybody can bring their vehicle, but it will be centered. We'll have a big Maverick, area too for Mavericks. So when we send out, information to all the people that have bought Mavericks from us, which I was actually surprised. We had a list of about 300 to 400 people that had bought Maverick or having serviced here at the dealership. So so we'll see how many show up, but hopefully we'll get a big.
Definitely can call you the king of Mavericks then, right?
Maybe. We're not first place anymore. We were first there for a while.
What?
But
who's number one now, man?
Well, when you don't get any allocations for 4 months, it kind of that kind of hurts your sales when you don't have anything to sell. So, because we've been telling people we can take orders and we can put your orders in, and then people are like, "Well, there's nothing on your website." I'm like, "Because we don't have any in stock. That's why you need to order."
Because they're fast. They don't last.
they're gone.
That's
So
right.
anyway,
But I was really bummed because I told you I was watching one of your live streams. I was like, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm coming to your event," and didn't
yeah,
realize that it was the same time as the dunes. And
yeah,
I hate to prioritize the dunes over you, but they've been on my bucket list, and I
I
definitely want
get
to get
it.
to your dealership. But sorry, Tim, they're just a hair higher right now. But definitely, I'm coming to
Well,
one of your events.
we might have to move this up because I mean, there's been there's a lot of events in August that even I'm like, I'd rather go to that, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I get it. But yeah, so this is, it's not a big event. I think last year we had 30 Mavericks there and such, but it's more, I mean, it's about, it's about the YouTube community and everything. Cause the people that are there are just like, they've watched us, and they're just like friends, and it's just
Oh,
like, it's,
100%. Yeah, I watch your
and
live
so it'll be a
stream.
lot of fun.
Your live streams are great because it's a big family. I mean, much like this one is, but
Yeah.
your reach
Yeah.
of for way we've talked about many times the pandemic, the reach that you were able to get from that, and how
Yeah.
you just kept everybody in the know as you still do. That's like if you guys are not watching Tim's channel over there along MacArthur, you need to be because definitely like there's good stuff that I pick up. And I have people in these plants that I can talk to, and they're like, I don't know. And then Tim finds it out somehow. So definitely, if you need the
Well,
inside track, go see Tim.
that's what's weird is you have dealers that know certain information, you have media that knows certain information, and then you have people in the plant, and they don't all know everything. So it's
Yeah.
like we don't know it all. So it's like we don't hear everything what's going on in the plant and that kind of stuff. But
Well,
I was really surprised they let me go to the media event, but they said they're going to try to start incorporating some of the higher YouTubers that
yeah.
are dealers. So
Oh,
that's
you
that's
should, man.
nice.
You guys work your tails off for basically to promote them, And I mean, obviously, it helps for sales too. It's a double fun thing there, but they ought
Yeah.
to allow people that are really, I mean, it shows that dealership cares. So that I think they should promote that. And, if the other
Yeah.
dealerships want to start caring more and really doing, because I think that's the wave of the future. People want personalized content. If my local dealerships were doing anything fun, I would pay attention to that. And I would try to maybe offer support if they were keeping me in the know like you do.
Yeah, and I think it's taken some because even when we were been doing these videos for a long time, but and helping people figure that some of that stuff out when ordering, but when we started attending the events and then being able to see the people part of the communication team with Mike Levine and some of those, and then them realizing that there's some dealers out there that have good content, and I don't know why not allow them into some of the media stuff. And I don't know, I'm sure that's probably, it's one of those things. It's like, some of the media may not like that. For dealers though, we're like for us, we're just like, we'd love to get some of that capture
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't
Well,
know.
as an auto journalist at press events, the only ones that really ever bother me are generally the influencers that pop in. And it's only because I don't think they're used to being a one man. Hey, I'm just going to bulldoze through this to get what they want done. And sometimes they forget that the people that paved their path for in the auto world, you got to let them have some time
Mhm.
too. And there was one
Yeah.
at the press event I was at this week who 3.5 million followers on TikTok. Ridiculous reach, amazing guy, very polite too. When he realized like he was in your shot or something, he was very, very apologetic and super nice guy to deal with. And Piston something, I can't remember his name, was super nice guy.
Uh, yep.
But
And
that
I
this
like to,
cat, this cat Tim, he was nothing but travel. He had just gotten back from the Corvette launch. Flew right to where we were. He was going to San Diego. Like I was like, man, when I was younger, that'd been the life I would have loved to live, but I don't know about so much now. Tim, I wanted to
yeah.
talk to you. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Bronco because, for one, everything's been quiet on it. We've all suspected for quite a while that 25 was going to be the refresh year, and everything I know about it, 25's going to be the refresh year. Now, details are very sparse right now because Ford's going to keep it. They want to keep this tight lip till they're ready to reveal it, which they should. All
Mhm.
across the industry, things keep getting leaked, so their lips are getting tighter and tighter on this. But Order banks. Have you heard anything about when order banks open up for Bronco 25s just yet?
Not Bronco, only Bronco Sport. So
When does Bronco Sport? Can you say when Bronco Sport?
um, I can't remember. I mentioned it last week, and now I don't know without my notes. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
it's in mid-August, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. And
So somewhere
there's some
somewhere
cool things.
mid-August.
Sport's going to get a nice little refresh, from my understanding. They're
Yeah.
taking it to a next level, which I think there is a community there for that little vehicle, much like Maverick. They're buddies in the build line, but I think sport is finally going to get taken a little more seriously, which that's pretty exciting to me that Ford's, they could just use that as a volume vehicle. Who cares? It's going to sell. They're going to sell 70, 80,000 a year, but no, they're like, hey, well, no, we want to take it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think there's supposed to be a reveal of that in Bronco Sport and Bronco, but I don't know timing or anything on that. But they're
Well,
not they're not saying.
I did get an idea of Bronco's going to be at Woodward. That's when I've gotten the idea that
I
it's which is traditionally when they do like to do for Bronco, they do
yeah
like to do it there.
yeah
Sport
I,
definitely
I
I've heard is coming up very, very quickly.
yeah. So I know they're like showing it at a couple of like each of them at their own event, but I don't know. Like I said, I was hoping to get invited. I don't know if I will or not, but so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I think I had the invite on that one. Um, it, I I'm for sport. I would like to see a little more horsepower, and I'm just speculating here. I don't know anything on this. I definitely would like to see them change the packages up just a little bit. I will say for sports, always been sort of confusing what they do at Badlands. Do they still do the Black Diamond package in that, or that's newer, right?
The Black Diamond on the Big Ben, maybe on Outer Banks too. I don't know, but yeah, that actually right now, like we were doing really good on Heritage Editions there for a while,
Mhm.
so we loaded up on stock Heritage Editions, and now that's all we have. It's just a lot of Heritage Editions, but then now we've been getting Outer Banks and Big Bens with that Black Diamond package, and they're going pretty quick. So, and I don't think people are getting the Black Diamond package because of the capabilities. I think
Yeah.
they're getting it because it looks cool. It looks
Right.
with the stripe on the side.
Right.
But Bronco Sport's one of those. It's kind of like you get a little bit. To me, you have some people that are looking at it for maybe performance, a smaller off-road vehicle, but for the most part, most of the people we see buying it are people that would wanted to buy the old Escape. They want a nice SUV
Really?
that looks cool, so they'd rather have it instead of an Escape.
Well, that's
So
interesting.
that's I'm seeing is more people like in metro areas and everything that are buying those instead of another vehicle. But
Yeah, that's interesting about the
I don't.
Escape because I was talking to a person with a day job, and his wife loves the Escape, bummed out that you can't get that they're basically gone now. And honestly was cross shopping into the Kia category. And so to hear that you're seeing Escape people going to Bronco, that's really nice for Bronco sales or Bronco sports sales.
Yeah, yeah. Escape's still available, 25. So
I heard it was on the chopping block.
well, there's 25 model year just launched, just opened up the order banks. So
Nice,
you
nice.
can,
Well,
yeah,
maybe
they're
it's
doing,
another year away.
they didn't really change much. They actually decontented some things and lowered the price just a little. But then you can, of course, get some of that content back, with certain packages. But
Sure.
um, yeah, so it's still available for 25. I don't know. I heard the same thing. I heard it's going away, but that they came out with 25 model years. So I don't know if this is the last year. They're not really saying. I could see 25 possibly being the last year for
Yeah.
that, but
Well,
I don't
because
know.
this trim's been out for quite a while now, right? For Escape,
Well,
18 or
Edge
so.
is Edge is gone.
Yeah, I know Edge is gone, but I've heard Escape. Of course, the little mini transit van or something supposedly was gone too. And
Transit Connect, yeah.
yeah,
Well, and it says Transit Connect's no longer in the U.S. So I don't know if they're going to still make it for Europe and other markets or not, but it's kind of
right.
weird. But I don't know. So we'll see. But
Well, anything what would help since you guys are part of the sales on Bronco Sport? What would help that vehicle really stand out more? I mean, different grill, a few more features. What are the customers especially the youthful customers that want to use that as an adventure vehicle. What is it lacking that you think they need?
Mm. I don't know because if somebody actually gets in it and they go to an off road, now most of the vehicles at the off road are Badlands. But what I mean, we don't, at the dealership, we want to see a 2.0 in the other trims, not just limited to the Badlands. But then if you actually get in one and drive the 1.5, it's not that bad. It's got more power than you'd think it would. But, and if you're off roading, it's got plenty. But I don't know. I mean, I think Badlands, you're getting up to pretty high price level to be doing some off road stuff. So it'd be nice if they did like the Bronco and give you some capabilities,
Yeah.
and that allow you to be able to do that at a cheaper price level, like the Big Bend or something, and add a package of some sort, which maybe they will. We'll see.
I would like to definitely the Badlands. I think they need to add a better tire, something that just makes it look. I mean, it doesn't have to be. There's so many all-terrain tires out there that look aggressive that are really the tread pattern's not. They need something that just gives it a little more feels like the part anyways, I think.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I know on the Black Diamond off-road package. That tire is that's not an off-road tire. I mean, it's an all-terrain tire, but I was like, man, they could have really done something there, and I think they really dropped the ball on the tire on that package. But so the wheels look great, and it's got the protection underneath, but
Yeah.
you need a different wheel, give it a little more stance, a little more clearance, by doing that. I mean, if you added, I actually think the RTR package for the Bronco Sport is a good package because we actually measured like the distance that you get from stock, and we put that one of those on a Badlands edition, and it really lifted it up and gave it some extra clearance and everything. But
what does that? Because I don't follow sport that well. What does the RTR package include? What does that do for you?
The RTR is mainly just a wheel and tire upgrade and a suspension upgrade. So you do get the front suspension gets a lift too. So really brings it up. But then it's the graphics, which just like with Roush, graphics is they're charging too much for that. But you know how that is. But
Sure.
but yeah, you can still get like an RTR suspension on a Bronco Sport or Maverick for that fact if you really wanted one, and get it separate. You wouldn't have to get it with the package. And then I think you can even get their wheels now and the tires. So I mean, you could do that without going to that whole package.
Yeah.
But
I think if they take it a little more seriously, and of course, with sport was definitely up in the air whether I know it's a good price point for what you get with that little SUV, but they did kind of take a chance on that. So, the fact that we got something more affordable in the Bronco lineup at all was great at the initial launch. I would just like to see. I definitely would like to see him. I would like to see him put just a little bit larger engine in it. I don't think we need 3 different options, but I definitely would like to see. Let's the one I've drove. I've only been in one. It probably was the 1.5 because it was a long time ago. But it did feel slightly underpowered, not like a dog by any means, but I would have liked a little more out of it. But I would like to see a little bit bigger engine and hybrid setup. Like let's really get into this and like let's crank some MPGs out of this thing. It looks the part, let it do adventures across the country and you still get like ridiculous miles per gallon.
yeah, sorry, my headphones went out, so I was like trying to
Oh, you're good. We
scramble.
hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Cool. But
We got to get Tim a
yes,
stand for his iPad.
I do. Well, I have it's just a phone. I got one of those flip phones. And actually, what's funny is I dropped my flip phone. I have one of those folds. And I dropped it at the airport, and that's what we record with. And I dropped it at the airport on the way to our an event.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh. So I thought we were done. So the actual inner screen is what cracked, but what I can film with and the other screen worked just fine. So I was like, whew.
Nice.
So
well, somebody was
yeah.
looking out for you.
As soon as I got back, I got a new one. So like, let's go get a new phone. But yeah, so I can like set it up, which is kind of nice. But yeah, somebody just didn't tell me ahead of time that I was going to be on here. So
hey man, I know. Allie was having all kinds of internet issues, and I'm glad that I saw you in the chat. And remember, I even put in the title of the email I sent. I said, do not come. Like you don't have like. But Tim's always so nice and been very kind to us, so we appreciate it.
Well,
I
I
definitely
don't
like
mind
two
talking
three.
about nothing that I can't talk about.
Yeah, a 2-3 in the Bronco Sport. That's kind of interesting. Like,
Yeah.
let's. I mean, maybe it would be too much for that though.
You know, people have said that about the Maverick, you know? So,
Does Maverick come? Do they really complain about horsepower in that thing? Do those guys? I mean, I guess
um,
everybody wants more.
people do want they want a 2.3 in a Maverick in a certain version, like a lower
Yeah.
version of it. They've said that. I mean, there are people that are doing it. There's a group out called Fast Maverick
Hmm.
that they'll put the 2.3 from Corsair in a Maverick and lower it and all that. And in fact, we have a follower of our channel, VTech, that has raced his, and that's what he's done. And so they want to they want a 2.3 in it. So,
Eric, I
but
drove. I drove by. Sorry, I drove by an RS today for sale, and I almost stopped to look at it because I really want a little hot hatch, something fun. It's either that or a Nissan Juke, and I know don't kill me. Don't kill me. I just like both. I like goofy looking vehicles, and I kind of find both those to be interesting. Well, for Maverick too, like I definitely Mavericks, they're gonna have to step it up a little bit. It's getting kind of versus the competition. I know they're kind of completely different things, but I do find the other one kind of the interior might look a little bit better. So I hope they step up in the next version of that thing, and give us some fun packages with that. Um, man, it's killing me. I so want to talk about what we know.
yeah. Well,
But
we're gonna do a Wednesday night live and talk Maverick
nice.
stuff.
There, you
So,
guys
because
heard it.
as you know, there's
Yeah,
some
that's gonna be
things we can
fun.
talk about.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
we
gonna
could.
be watching your stream on that one.
Well, maybe we'll have you join in. Maybe I'll do an impromptu and send you a link.
Sure, sure. I'll be like, yeah, man.
Because you're
Okay.
not, you're the Bronco, Bronco and everything else. But as a journalist, it'll be good to get your take. And, You know,
Yeah,
my
for
take as a dealer will be different than your take, so it'll be good to see what you think.
yeah, I literally was finishing some thumbnails right before this, so that should be fun. Devin says no juke. I
No
had a
ju-
I loved it, man. I'll be honest, the little juke with the manual transmission was so much fun. Is it a rocket ship? None of those little hatches, even let's be honest, the Fiesta and the Focus and all that, they weren't that fast, but they were just fun little driving a go-kart sized vehicle around is so much fun on the streets. It does kill me that Ford's just kind of given up on that category of vehicle. Well, I guess cars in general, but though I do hear rumors that we might get an EV car coming down soon. So keep your ears open for that because I think,
Yeah,
and
I've heard some rumors about that.
I'm not talking Mach E. I'm talking about a new sedan that
No,
they have
no.
coming up. They're
Yeah.
definitely the time's right. Tesla's, they're not the shiny penny they used to be. So the time is right for some of these brands to capitalize on
Hmm.
that S size vehicle in the Model 3s a little bit.
Yeah.
So we do feel like, of course, we know the order banks are open up for 25 on sport. Definitely a refresh is coming. I've seen too many spy photos of what's going around. I mean, you start seeing that, and
Well,
you know it's coming. But
when I've
Bronco,
been told that they no longer are going to be masking up pre-production vehicles,
I
so
talked
we'll
to
be.
I talked to Ford about this recently, and I said why,
Yeah.
and the answer that I got, and they said this was going to be you're going to start seeing this across the board in the industry, but the problems they have when they hide their vehicles is they can't find noises and stuff that they would
Uh,
normally on unbadged vehicles because you're masking some of it, and then when you
yeah.
drive the unmasked version of it, you start finding little things. So they were like, "We're just gonna." Because I'd asked somebody recently. I was like, "Why, if I'm seeing all the industry just stop hiding their vehicles?" And they're like, "We're- especially Ford is committed right now to no problems. We can't have problems.
Yeah.
No recalls." And I think maybe they hit on something with that. If you start seeing it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and really, to be honest, they've like on the Maverick, they knew what they were. I mean, they'd already chosen because we did a video about here's some things that we'd like to see some changes on the Maverick, and that was like a good 3-4 months ago. And they're like, we've already decided what we're doing. I mean, they reached out to me and said that's a great video, but we've already decided what we're doing for 25 like months ago. And I'm like, so they're like 6 months in advance of what they're doing. So I mean, the what you're seeing out there, they're already building them.
Yeah.
At least
Base-
pre-production ones.
Baseball geeks, sell me your Raptor, please. There's two things about the Raptor. It could be up for sale next month, or it may hang around till January. There's two ways. I mean, I'll be honest. The Raptor probably goes away for a new Forerunner. And I know Tim doesn't want to hear this, but as I've spent a lot of time in Ford products, I need to spend some long-term time in some other products. And I'm eyeing the Forerunner to replace the Raptor down the road. But there's something that I saw this week that could change my mind too. And it would be kind of strange that I would trade for this. But anyways, but Baseball Geek, if you have to watch these live streams, because somebody goes, hey, if I'd known you were selling your Mustang, I would have bought it. I'm like, I've talked about selling that car for 4 months, man. Like, are you not watching anything? But yes, if anybody is interested in the Ranger Raptor, it could potentially be for sale next month. But I will tell you this, I'm probably going to ask MSRP on it just because it's low miles. You're getting a brand new truck, and guess what? You're not going to pay markups on it. So that way, anyways. So, and I think Tim, right now, I think they're still hot enough that you could probably get close to MSRP with zero issue on a Ranger Raptor, right?
Yeah. I mean, like we always go off of what the market's doing, whether it be over MSRP or not. I mean,
Sure.
I'd love to be one of those dealers that's MSRP on everything, but I mean, what if the market, we hate to like sell a vehicle and then we see that same owner turn it around and make $5,000 on it. It's like
Yeah.
we were the retail dealer, we should be getting the most out of
Oh,
it.
sure.
So we saw Ranger Raptor, some dealers doing really crazy markups, and everything, but we look and see what they do at the auction and kind of base off of that.
I saw
And
one for $100,000 in California. It's like, who would pay $100,000 for that, man? I love that truck. It's not $100,000. Like, I don't think the Raptor R is $100,000 truck, and I beat the piss out of that thing in Johnson Valley, right where it should be driven, and I still wouldn't pay $100,000 for that truck. But the Ranger Raptor, no way. I really think Ranger Raptor is priced exactly where it should be. Exactly where it should be.
Yeah. I like to see the Bronco Raptor come down in price. I think it's too high. I mean, we kind of look at that sometimes and kind of joke about it. Like, well, let's see, Bronco Raptor, you want to get that or you want to get a limited Super Duty? I mean,
Yeah.
price wise, they're the same. It's like,
And
what are
comfort
you
wise,
doing, Ford?
there's no one's a lot more comfortable.
So it's like,
But right, 25s for Bronco, Tim. I was snooping around the plan a while back and kind of have an idea what's coming, and I don't want to out anybody that allowed me to see some things. But what do you think customers need out of the updated Bronco? Because I will say they did the right thing last year. What they just made the 12-inch screen standard. They've really simplified some of that, which I definitely am happy about. Where do you improve with this vehicle right now for just a mid-cycle refresh?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe some refreshed. Of course, they'll usually always refresh the grills, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But I mean,
we got a lot of
interior
grills to
wise,
refresh.
they've made the bigger screen. I mean, I like to see. I mean, as an off-road person now, I feel like I'm more experienced off-roader now. After last week going some places in Colorado, but I'd love to see why a front camera is not a standalone option. Just even a 180-degree camera, which we used to see that on Explorer. Why not make that an option for? I mean, you shouldn't have to go up to like, I shouldn't need a high lux package because I don't care about, I don't necessarily need the adaptive cruise and some things like that and the
Yeah.
leather and all that. I just want a front camera and I shouldn't have to pay $2,000, $2,900 or whatever it is to go up to that package just to get a front camera.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's something I'd like to see. But
Maybe they look at just calling some things off-road packages,
yeah,
just having here's an offer. I mean, not like Sasquatch, but here's some tech off-road package that you could do.
yeah. So, maybe throwing, like, for me, I look at Sasquatch and go, I wouldn't go Sasquatch because I'm probably going to put my own wheels and tires on it anyway,
Hmm.
and so maybe make a front and rear locker with the front camera or something like that, you
Yeah.
know, that type of package, and you just put that together or whatever else you might need. I don't know, but
Yeah. One
anyway,
Sasquatch,
dude, I think they need to
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Tim.
I was gonna say I do think they need to simplify all the packages. I mean, there's so many trims that, I mean, and like I don't think a lot of people realized when Wild Track came out. I'm like, okay, a lot of people ordered that because it was the most expensive one other than Raptor. And it's like
Yeah.
that's not your fully loaded. That's not your luxury trim. That's that they didn't know to understand the purpose behind that. And from what I understand, maybe in 25 they'll figure that out. And then so that's something that I thought was always weird. We see so many people that got a Wild Track that didn't even take them off road. It's like, oh, I wanted the fully loaded one with all the leather and everything. I'm like, that's an Outer Banks. If you're not
Yeah.
going to take it off road, buy the Outer Banks instead. So I thought, I don't know. That was kind of my thought on that. So I think helping customers understand this package is a little bit more, the trim levels, so that they can get the one that works for what their needs are. But so I like to see that simplified down. I see that
Yeah.
Everglades is going away. I mean, and
Oh,
that makes sense
has
because,
that been announced that that thing's going away yet?
well, I've found something that says that they're done, at least for this year, and I don't think that's coming back for next year.
I don't see them on the
And I mean,
road.
and really, when you think about it, now that wheel is standard on your Sasquatch. That's your standard Sasquatch wheel. So what
Yeah.
are you missing? I mean, maybe you make a Everglades package and you just throw in a snorkel and maybe a winch and slide out tailgate or whatever else it doesn't have, and make it its own package on a whatever,
Yeah, I would
because
have liked
really
to see.
it's a Black Diamond Plus in a
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, what you get the high or not what mid I guess for Black
Yeah.
Diamond is where it was at. You get up to mid. Yeah, I would have liked to seen. I think for at launch they did a couple things wrong. I mean, obviously, I think way too many trims. I think they teased the Raptor way too soon. I mean, way too soon when you don't even have order banks open for the regular Bronco. Now you're already teasing what's
Yeah.
coming, and that muddied the waters a little bit. And I know it's Levine's job to do that, and I'm not saying he's giving here's what's coming. We need you to get
Hmm.
this out a little bit. So I get that, but I
Hmm.
remember at the time, and when I think it was December, when the rumors were order banks were supposed to go be open that December. It didn't happen. They were having all kinds of issues, and then they dropped that teaser of that thing jumping, and you're like, what are we doing? And of course, I still think the Warthog name would have been better than the Raptor on this, but I understand that's a marketing deal. But I
Hmm.
think they came out with too many trims. Yeah,
Yeah.
the base was confusing because a base should just be a base, in my opinion. I know there was a lot of those base squatch people that loved that. Oh, I get just nothing and I can get the big
Hmm.
tires, but then I
Yep.
guarantee you, if you bought one of those, I guarantee you most of those people have already thrown an extra ten to $15,000 in it. So it's like, well, why didn't you just spend that, but and get the better vehicle? But they did away with base. I don't think that's coming back. But also, I think like Black Diamond should go away. I was one of the initial orderers of a Black Diamond. That's what me and Kelly initially ordered was Black
Hmm.
Diamond hardtop, and because I wanted Sasquatch, and I thought I'll survive without a couple of the creature comforts, but, I think I don't see any Black Diamonds out there at all. I see a lot of Outer Banks, a lot of
Hmm.
Badlands, and I see a lot of Wild Tracks, and like you were saying earlier, I think Wild Track was just the way they marketed it was confusing. It was supposed to be the Raptor-ish version of the lineup, and then they muddied the
Yeah.
waters with a Raptor instantly coming out. But people
Yeah.
think the Wild Track is the top dog, and I know there's a lot of people in this that they love the name, they think it's the coolest one, but you don't get the sway disconnect in a few of the features. It was weird. You got carpeted floor mats in that shouldn't be there, not for that trim, not for an outdoor sand running. You don't want
Hmm.
sand and carpet; they don't go together. Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I just I hope they slim it down for 25 a little bit, but then give us something, something new.
Well, when they went to the Big Ben, basically having the vinyl flooring and the vinyl seats and everything, and all that, I'm like, that's a Black Diamond. I mean,
Mhm,
so they really
mhm.
didn't need both. when the Big Ben was different in the sense that I had the cloth, I had the carpeted, so Big Ben could be for that. The
Yeah.
person that's not going to go off road, and Black Diamonds for the one that goes off road. So it's two different ways to go. And I actually would have probably bought Black Diamond myself if it had the LED, the signature lighting option. That
Yes.
was the one thing that was a deal breaker for me, was that. And at the time, I didn't like I didn't like the idea of vinyl seats and vinyl floor.
Mhm.
But then once I saw it in person, I was like, oh, I could live with that. And now that
Yeah.
it's that way on the Big Ben, well, there you go. So yeah, they definitely they don't need both Big Ben and Black Diamond. So one of them probably need to go, because you can add, I'm like, why not option off for the rock rails? And if you actually look at mine, I kind of like the Black Diamond. I like that grill better. So if you
Mhm.
look at my Bronco, my Big Ben, it's you could swear it's a Black Diamond, because I
Right.
got the Black Diamond grill, the rock rails on the side. It's got the heavy duty modular front bumper now. So I've kind of, in a sense, evolved it over to that.
Yeah.
But
What I do expect some motor changes, some engine changes in this thing coming up, though. I mean, 2.3 is not going anywhere. I mean, that's Ford's bread and butter engine. That thing's been around for a long time. But Tim, and this is speculation, but I think the 2.7 goes away. I really do. I think they're going to look at what Jeep's been doing with their little four banger and go, what if we did a four banger with a hybrid setup? And
yeah,
I think they go in somewhat with how the hybrid setup is like Toyota does, where it slightly helps with fuel economy, but you're getting the emissions of a four cylinder, but we can give you that torque of the 2.7. And I think I have nothing to base this on, but just reading the tea leaves of the industry, I think that the 2.7 is in danger.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it could be. I mean, it's a good motor,
Mhm,
and you have a 2.7,
mhm.
but yeah, they're probably going to see a hybrid, or a plug-in, one or the other. I mean, I don't know.
Please no
Ford
plug-in.
seems
Please no
to
plug-in.
struggling with plug-ins, but I'd love to see a plug-in. But just because I get terrible fuel economy, why not in town? At least I can save some
Mhm.
gas a little bit before I go on
Sure.
that road trip. But and plus, I mean, if you did that, use that off or save that for off road, you might, either way. I mean, the hybrid off road, I think, would be a great thing as well. But yeah, we'll see that. I mean, they're trying to compete with Wrangler altogether, so there's got to be at least a hybrid, if not a plug-in hybrid, coming.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
they
they
don't want to
really
have too many motors, so I agree. They're gonna probably the 2.7, and have a hybrid instead. I don't know, and I know nothing. I'm sitting here.
yeah.
I'm not speculating. I don't know anything at all. Nobody's told me anything, and so I have no idea. But I could see a hybrid instead of a 2.7 too. I
Well,
agree with
the
that.
2.7's under constraints right now, which is amazing. I don't understand how that engine is under constraints because, I mean, with Ranger, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. The strike kind of screwed up when they were initially supposed to delay it, but now you don't even hear about it. And somebody asked me a while back, and I said 25. I said if they've waited this long, there's not a 24 2.7. There's just not going to be. We're way
Yeah,
too late in the game for that. And does at some point do you think that, I mean, the Ranger and Bronco can share a platform? I think that same system, a 2.3 with a hybrid setup, a power boost is what they would call it in that. I, I
yeah,
think I think maybe they're trying to adjust plans. We do know cafe regulations mean everything. 2.7 is definitely hurting the Bronco lineup as far as fuel economy.
yeah.
I still get, even with mine as lifted and as heavy as it is now. Kelly said she was getting 16, almost 17 to Michigan, and she's a pretty heavy foot, which is not bad considering we're running big, heavy MT tires and stuff. But um, I really think Ford is following what Jeep's doing right now. And of course, the V8's gone in the Wrangler. The
Yeah.
final version of that 392 in 10 years will be gone. I promise you. But the Jeep's all in with their small four banger. I think the 3.6 is dead pretty much, especially with the way the state rules are now, where for
Yep.
Jeep, they're not even allowed to allow people. You can order the 3.6, but you can't, or the anything non 4xe, but you have to order it. Dealers supposedly can't keep stock in. I'm not exactly sure why that is, or I know why it is, but how that works.
Hmm.
But Ford has to be, if they're doing business in California, which means everything. California shapes the industry. You know, California's coming after that 2.7.
Yeah.
But
There are some configurations for us that we can't like stock, and you can only sometimes like you can only get it on the retail. Like we have certain configurations that we can't get as stock, but we can get it as if somebody orders one, and then
yeah,
it doesn't come in. Like there for a long time on the Mustang, we couldn't get a night pony package unless the customer ordered it. So you couldn't order it as stock, that kind of thing, because they had so many. But some of it, it's kind of weird how they did that. Expedition STX, they had an STX package that was that way, where you could only order that as retail, and then I think they took it away altogether finally, or
have you
whatever.
gotten your 25 Explorers yet?
Nope, haven't gotten any yet. We
I've
have
heard dealers
we have
have. I think
we have one in
Allie said
transit.
they had a few. I think she told me they had a few already.
Yeah, I know Ford Authority posted that so they were hitting dealers. So Detroit always gets things first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's built in what?
That's in
Chicago, I
Chicago,
think.
though. They're building
Yeah.
Chicago. You'd think.
Yeah.
I guess they're close enough.
Right. But the press drives were just 2 weeks ago on that, which I had to let
Yeah.
my local Ford rep know that hey, why did I not get that invite? I've been pumping that vehicle up, but I'm really that's an exciting one to me to drive because I really feel like that's the Mustang of SUVs. Like it's fun,
The ST.
sporty, and there's a guy in your
Yeah.
area, I forget the YouTube guy that's like cranked out killer horsepower, man. He's always racing people. He's part of the Friends of Ford program. He goes to a lot of these things. Like he's always racing his little ST.
Yeah. Yeah, the ST is not like a lot of people don't realize what it is, how good it is. We don't sell a lot of them, but they're you'd think they would be, but
Yeah. Laura says she has 125 in.
yep, it's trickling its way down the US. We'll get one soon.
Right. I was at one point I was interested in buying one of those for a long-term review vehicle, but I was just like, I don't know if it would lose its fun real quick for me of daily. I mean, there's a whole video series you can do of living with that thing that I really can't do with the trucks, but I don't know if the excitement for me would be there to want to make those videos.
What we found is like for all the E's, I call them the Explorer, and all those vehicles, we just don't get a lot of people that custom order them. They just wait for them to show up, at a lot on the lot. So
Really?
it seems like we don't see that many people custom ordering those.
Is that a generational thing? Because it's an older person's vehicle, sort of?
Maybe it's like one of those that they just want to see it first in person. I don't know.
Yeah.
But or the demand, one or the other. I mean, there's a lot of Explorers being driven, and we sell quite a few, even Expeditions too. But I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that it's not like something that they need to rush out. There's nothing wrong with the one they have. They're not really, they don't necessarily need to rush out and order one,
Right.
So,
well, with Bronco, do you expect this time with a mid-cycle refresh potentially coming? We don't know for certain. Do you expect it can't be the demand that we saw for the first run of Gen 6? I mean, I think there's going to be some excitement there, and I think there's always people that have to be the first in their neighborhood to have the latest and greatest. But do you think there's a big boost of sales because Bronco sales are down a little bit right now?
yeah, we have some significantly discounted that are still setting. I mean, it's not like we're trying to get MSRP on any of ours.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I think, you had the people that were really into it that have theirs. But there are people that, will trade every 3 years. And so, now they're 21 or 22 Broncos. They're ready to trade it in. I feel that way with Maverick. I feel like we're starting to see some. Right now, I think the only hesitation on the Maverick is what they've seen out there driving around isn't what they like. They don't like certain parts of it. So that's the only thing, only
The new
apprehension
potential
to
front
some
end.
of them. Yeah, that front end. Yeah. Huh?
So that's what you think they don't like? Is that new?
They don't
kind
like
of,
that part that goes up into the headlights.
really?
That front
Huh.
face. Yeah.
I will say I don't
lot
know
of them-
that. what I've seen in pictures doesn't always look great, but you never know with pictures, till you see something like that in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it look good in person? Because we see these spy photographers right now that who knows how close they are, how far away they are. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Does the camera distorted any? I mean, I'm not. From what I've seen online, I don't think it's ugly by any means. I I think it's softening it a little bit, maybe trying to find that middle ground of truck buyer kind of guy that wanted a car. Maybe I don't know.
I don't. I think they're trying to pull that into the Ranger. Like if you look at the Ranger has that fascia that goes up there too.
Hmm.
It's not as dramatic into the headlight as much in the headlights, but it's similar to that. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, or if they're trying to not. They've. I don't think if they're trying to get a Ford buyer. I think they're
Yeah,
maybe trying to get the other people, the other competition, and take away that share, get people over from other manufacturers that have that kind of look
yeah,
to
kind
them.
of more of a car look to the front of their vehicle.
Yeah,
Or
I don't know.
an SUV-ish look. I wonder if what we've seen potentially, I wonder if that has anything to do with aerodynamics, though. I wonder if they're because Maverick already gets pretty good miles per gallon. They've got
Yeah,
to every year you want to increase that. So I wonder if there's something to that.
maybe.
But maybe we'll find out one day what's going on with that silly vehicle. Maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe.
maybe soon. Who knows? Um, whoa, Allie. Hey now. Oh, wait, I thought she was saying it looked better than the Ranger. I was like, "Hey girl, come on now, don't be trashing my Ranger." Um, how are y'all doing with Rangers? Are y'all sell because I know last time we talked, you were like, "Hey, we're not a big
Yeah.
mid-size truck dealership." I mean, have y'all sold any of those things?
We have the people that ordered them, they've come in and they've sold, but we have like 4 stock ones right now that
Mhm.
are kind of sitting. We're at MSRP though. We really haven't come down and there's no incentives on them. So
Yeah,
we're not like, we're just like, well, we don't keep a lot. So we're not really that, like, it's one of those that we want the turn and earn, but you have to look and see, what do we have? And I mean, one of the things that we do is we evaluate what we have in stock and inventory, and then also what we have coming in. So what's been scheduled to be produced and what's coming in, and then try to decide where we need to go on pricing. So we price according to that. So like F-150, where we have a ton, so we've kind of gotten really competitive with that because we need to bring that down for the turn and earn. But yet, then we see that in September we don't have hardly any coming in. So it's like one of those things that we have to look at it that way. But on the Ranger, it's one of those that, you know, we're getting pretty decent amount of allocations. So we'll
yeah,
probably start discounting that this week. We do that every Tuesday. We reprice our vehicles. So
right. Well, I know, from what I've seen, the XLT, you look at the XLT with you can get, especially FX4 package, something like that, like, that's a better deal than the Tacomas right now. It's
mm,
a way nicer vehicle. I've been in both vehicles, I've driven both vehicles, and it's night and day, and I have to say, I think quality is much better in the Ford Ranger than it is in the Tacoma right now as well, and that's hard to say because Toyota's known for, a lot of quality, but I'm amazed that I mean, I know Raptor has brought some Toyota fanboys over to the brand to check it out. Um, I think if what I've priced mid 40s, you get more truck than you do in the Tacoma. So I do look for Ford to start plucking sales away, especially with Toyota's seemingly bad. Every vehicle they produce here lately seems to have either a new engine needed or a lot of problems. And Ranger so far is I know there's been just a couple tiny things, but nothing outrageous for that. So hopefully mid-size
yeah,
truck sales for Ford really kick in.
yeah, because I mean Ranger, I haven't hardly seen any recalls.
Yeah.
Mavericks had a lot, but Ranger really hasn't had any. So they're doing pretty good with that. So
Hey, fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I don't want
fingers
to see
crossed.
mine in the dealership. I haven't. This is the first Ford I've owned in a while that I hadn't had to have right at the dealership after I've bought it. So I think I really do think they're getting better at quality,
Yeah,
pushing that. And it's a pride thing for the plants as well. They don't want their name getting
yeah,
because vehicle enthusiasts are fanboys of the vehicle, but guess what? They also know where all these vehicles are built now. And you know that has to eat at some people that work at these plants of like, they don't want their plant name tarnished and and like, oh
Yeah.
well, Michigan Assembly Plant. Well, there they go again. And I've been
Yeah.
in that plant. Everybody's happy. Like I see the team leads, how they operate. I think it was very impressive coming from
Mhm.
an import brand who I did build vehicles for, going into a my first UAW plant. I was very impressed how they operate. So I definitely think I don't think they want the bad names. And I think seriously, Farley has pushed and pushed, talked about quality. So between him
Yeah.
and the Stellantis CEO right now pushing it, hey, their plant, he basically said their plants suck. Their truck plants are just awful right now. Like he really did. He's like we're too many have to be repaired after the fact. And
Mm.
so glad to see these plants taking it more seriously. One thing seriously that I do want to ask you about a little bit, and this comes to us from Ford Authority, is discounts. Are we seeing 24 discounts now for Ranger or for Bronco Raptors?
Oh, we haven't had a Bronco Raptor in forever.
But I
I
know
know there's
23s that were left were getting upwards of what, six to $8,000 off MSRP.
yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't read that article. I'm not sure where they're coming up with the discounts. Sometimes they'll be in savings. I know there's like a couple grand if you have a Jeep. You get.
Oh
So
yeah,
if you
nice.
yeah if you own a Jeep, there is right now. There's been some contests going on for dealers that if you had a certain your objective of Bronco family, then you get certain discount retro back to the first unit. So we always discount ours based that we're going to hit that target. I know that's what we do. So what do they have? What to say? About $2,000 off. Oh, on a lease deal? Oh, I didn't even look at the lease. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I wouldn't lease that vehicle. Deal me
No,
in for
yeah.
a 24. I wish y'all could speak on that Everest y'all seen this weekend. I wish I could tell you what I saw, but you'll find out soon enough. Um, that the Bron- so we were talking about Broncos and what we think should kind of come in and what may disappear in that vehicle, but this is the Raptor in general, man. Uh, it was so hot at the beginning with that $72,000 price tag. I think Ford, clearly we know Ford brought the price up because they were tired of some dealerships just cranking 30K over of what, and
Yeah.
I get if you can get it, clearly the market's demanding that. Ford, I think, was tired of it and is like, well, we're going to get that price now, but they've got to back prices down a little bit, right? I mean, we can't have a $100,000, let's be honest, not the best. If you want a nice SUV, I love my Bronco to death, but I wouldn't buy it for, like, if I wanted to take my family on nice trips, or it wouldn't be ideally the vehicle for that, especially at 100K.
Yeah.
Do you think with maybe a mid refresh, obviously the Bronco Raptor would get one as well. Is this a way they can drop prices a little bit and not hurt used values?
Well, what I've noticed lately, what they're doing is they're adjusting prices up and down whenever they feel like it, and we're seeing they're doing rebates on F-150, but most of the vehicles, even like Explorers and all that, we're not seeing rebates anymore. We're seeing price adjustments. So it
Hmm.
used to be that you saw they call a mid-year price increase, and you would see that every year in the middle of the year. And
Mhm.
that's all you'd see is maybe one price increase. But now you're seeing that prices, because of COVID and everything else, go up and down. Now they're adjusting prices. Look at EVs. They're constantly we just got another reprice on the Mach E. It's like I think Ford's just like we're going to dictate the price and not use rebates because not all dealers will use the rebates, or especially dealer cash, the correct way. And so
Right.
you're kind of seeing that happening. And so I mean we always did, but not all dealers will. And so we always adjust our prices. So I mean, we have some major discounts on Bronco right now, and it looks like we're losing money. Well, we reallocate, expenses and different things into different accounts to help us able to do that because the turn and earn is a real deal. And now I think what you're going to see too is just thinking about this is that you're going to see they just changed how dealers are having to do the, your um, when a vehicle comes in, it used to be that you had that holdback covered you for like so many months. Now it's like day one, it starts instead of, later. So they're doing it differently. So now they're charging you a certain percentage off of the invoice. Day one, it shows at the dealership instead of waiting or instead of giving you some holdback money that lasts you for 3 months. So it's like
Right.
usually you're like, okay, we got to move these within 3 months. Well, or 45 days or seven or something like that. Well, now it's like that's not the case. So now you've got to like think about that. So I think most dealerships, once they get that first one in August and they get that hit from Ford, they're going to go, oh, what is this? We got to start moving this faster. So I think you're going to see all dealers bringing their prices down quicker,
Mhm.
and that'll just benefit the customer. So,
Well, I hope, because I mean, I would never want to see the
cool.
Bronco Raptor go away, but I do see if they keep this thing at $100,000. I mean, this is not,
Yeah.
$100,000 Bronco. You're getting Raptor R money basically, and the
Yeah.
performance is nowhere near. And I love the Bronco Raptor, and if you own one, I'm not crapping on that vehicle because it's
Mm-mm.
definitely a hell of a vehicle. But if you look at what you get for what you spend the same amount of money for on any other truck or anything like that, you're not getting a lot of value for your money. So they've got to,
Yeah.
at some point, they've got to go, maybe we got a little too greedy on that one.
I like to compare, vehicles and go, okay, well, let's look at an F-150 Raptor, a base Raptor, which, in my opinion, Bronco's similar to that.
Hmm.
What do they start at? Right under 80? I mean, that's Bronco Raptors more like Raptor 37 money, you
Yes.
know, and
Yes.
that's to me, that's crazy. I mean, when it was priced under 90, I felt like that was a good place for it, you know, but once it crept over 90, I was like, are you crazy?
Well, I
Because then
thought
you start,
72 personally was a good starting point, but
okay, yeah,
you knew it was not going to stay there. I always thought 75 to 78 was probably where it should have been. But yeah, no, I've told Kelly many times, if I could find a used one, low miles for 70s, I would probably, because she would be interested in owning one. I would probably be all over that, but there's just no way. And I know Alcione Ford, they're got I don't know if it's a 23 or 24, but they're discounted at like 8 grand, 6 or 8 grand. And I know they've had it for a while and just cannot seem to get rid of these damn things.
yeah, I've
Now
seen
they're
some
not
dealers
in a
with a bunch.
big market as maybe you or some of like Mitchell in Alabama and those guys. But guess what? Somebody looking for a Raptor, they're willing to travel. They're looking across country. They're pricing
Hmm.
everybody, trying to find. That's not. It's kind of like a vet. A guy goes to buy a vet. He just doesn't go to his local dealership and
Yep.
as you were saying with Explorer, go, well, that's what they got. That's what I buy. No, they're specific what they want. And I think Bronco Raptor is the same way. They're very, I want this package. I want these graphics, and that's what I want. So
Yeah.
it is something to think about with this. And I'll throw this link here in the description if you guys want to read along with that. But it has
Yeah.
gotten me thinking too with the 25s. We cannot see a huge price increase because the Bronco Badlands that I have right now with Sasquatch package, I paid 54 for it. It's almost 64 now. If I want to
Yeah.
replace that vehicle, it's $64,000. And I'm hoping 25s have some new features. Like I said, I'm hoping the ruby red, some of those fun new colors come out for it. Um, Talking with some Ford people recently, I don't think we're going to get any fun colors for this vehicle. I think they have such a
Yeah.
weird car boner for black, silver, white, and 15 grays. Like, I don't know why Ford has this. Like, this is all we do. Is I guess that Henry Ford approach of like you get one color in black and that's it, for the Model T. I guess they just keep carrying on with that. And I was talking to a Ford representative the other day, and I said, you guys have to do what Jeep does. Every 6 months, throw something new out. Excite the brand. Like, give us a lime color. I mean, do I want that color? Probably. But does most people know? But guess what? You'd only have to build it for a couple months, much like the khaki color. Where did that go? Like, that was like a one and done almost. But at least they tried something. I think they tried it on the wrong vehicle. I think had you put that on it like a Badlands exclusive or a Wild Track exclusive, people would have tore that color up. But it didn't even make it a full year?
I don't know. Because that was only on Everglades, wasn't it?
Right.
And I was like, if you had an Everglades with that color, you're good because it was like a half a year color.
Yeah.
It's like they discontinued it. Yeah.
But they're gonna have to get, especially with Bronco, they're gonna have to do something, or else, this vehicle is just gonna, I think, in the end, Jeep wins. That
Yeah.
that's Jeep's all, that's all they do is build this style vehicle, where Ford Focus might be like, oh well, Bronco Sport seems a lot more profitable and easier to build.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you, I like the heritage colors.
mhm.
I don't want to change the exclusivity of that by allowing it, but those colors would be fun to have available.
Well, what
You know,
Robin's Egg now is on the, you can get it in the
heritage
Super
edition.
Heritage Edition, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't it be fun to see Peak Blue and the other come across the others? Because I'd
Oh,
buy Peak Blue.
because not everybody wants the Heritage Edition, you know? I mean, personally, I love the square fenders and that look of it, but
Yeah.
for what is it? What are they? 70, the
Oh,
limiteds are 70s, mid 70s, somewhere in there, high
I'd
70s.
I'd take a regular heritage edition though. Standard Sasquatch, the painted, white roof, or top or whatever. And I don't mind the look of it. Um, so I don't know if I like the white wheel, but um, I don't know. I got a white wheel on the vehicle I'm driving now, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the look of it, but I'd love to see. We did is we ordered some of the black roof on some
Mhm.
stock vehicles. But we did a black with a black roof, and we did a carbonized gray with a black roof. So it's like it looks. I think it'll look pretty good when it comes in. So we're waiting to get those, but we'll see if they come out body colored roof this year. I mean, it's available on Raptor, but hopefully we'll see that in 25 evolve over to the other ones.
Well, that should have
So
been standard on Raptor. Like that's the one other cheap thing they did with Raptor was it looks,
yeah,
I mean, I have the new carbonized gray roof now, so we were one of the lucky ones, got the email early, and it was
I
this
still
or
haven't
the
gotten
other
my
brand, and
email.
I didn't know when the other brand was ever going to deliver them. So I was like, well, at least Ford, you get I forget what the warranty is, like a 2-year warranty, maybe. I forget what it is, but I was like, I'll take my chances with that. But
Yeah.
no, I do want to talk about your white wheels though, as we wrap this thing up, because you are awful excited by this vehicle, and your excitement almost caused me to go, hey Tim, kind of want to venture
Well,
into
come on up
EV
to the
chat.
meetup and I'll take you for a drive.
But I really am. What's funny about the what do they call it, the Mach-E Rally
Yeah.
that you've got, I initial launch, I just was like, cool, whatever. Like, it didn't do anything for me, but I'll be honest, the what did it for me was looking at the Ionic 5N and seeing how sporty that thing is, and go,
Mhm.
oh, I could do a Ford. Now I wish Ford had the fake shifting that the Ionic N has. I think they're all going to do that at some point to make EVs fun. I think you got to have some paddle shifters. But
Um,
I started getting interested in the rally, which is kind of,
yeah,
I didn't
you
realize
know,
I
it,
did.
I think the look, it's one of those that either you hate it or you like it. Because when I put it out on the Mach-E forum, there were so many people that just bashed the spoiler and the wheels and everything. So it's one of those looks either you like or you hate it. But if you want the performance of that, you can still go GT with the performance upgrade, and you're getting 700 pound-feet of torque. I
Yeah,
mean, that thing is fun to drive because I don't even put it in the GT rally mode. You just
really.
put it in unbridled, and that thing will. I mean, I take it around corners going 40 easily, and that thing just kind of just the back end just goes out and just whips right back into place. And I'm not even a kind of a race car driver at all, but that thing is fun to drive just around town. It's like bye.
Yeah,
It's a blast, and I've been really shocked at how well the distance has been on the 2 trips we've gone to like, I don't drive a lot out of town in it. We've drove it to the airport twice in Kansas City, which is about 200 miles for us. And, we'll get to the airport and it'll be 40, 50 miles to the end. And I'm like, so it's getting what it says. And I went 80 miles an hour back from the airport and got back from the airport 200 miles to Salina with 20 miles range left. and to be able to not have to, slow down and have that is just incredible. So it's better, more aerodynamic. I think the battery's better now,
Mhm.
and I mean, there's plenty of places to charge now. I mean, now we can charge if you get an adapter, you can charge on a Tesla adapter, and I mean, there's just so much. But just for me, it's more a commuter than
Mhm.
anything. So I can just drive back and forth, and I use nothing. Like I can drive all week, and then I go plug it in for a couple hours. At level 2 charger, we have one at work. I can plug it into that every Tuesday night during the live stream for a couple hours, and then that's good
Nice.
for a week. And there we go.
Nice. Which do you prefer though? The truck, the Lightning, or this?
Oh, this, yeah. The thing for me is the truck is to me is just almost too big.
Mhm.
F-150. I mean, and that's just for me. I mean, it does its job. If you need to haul stuff and everything, then you need to use of a truck. Then the Lightning, all is it. But if it's just what I use it for, which is mainly a commuter and all that, it's too big. And boy, it sucks. I mean, when you go on a highway in that thing, it's like a brick. So it's really gets suffered by the wind when you're taking on a trip. But I think the rally is just so fun. It's smaller, it's SUV, and it does feel like you're driving a Mustang. I
Hmm.
mean, it really does. I mean, I always used to joke too. I don't think it deserves a Mustang name. Just name it Mach E and be done. But then after driving it, and I don't know if you saw the race we did where we outran the two Mustangs. I was like, maybe it does deserve the Mustang name because it's got the bagger ride on it, and I don't know, it's fun to drive. I'll just say that.
Well, I know you were so excited by that thing when it was coming in, and I got caught in your excitement a little bit. I was like, maybe I need to look at this thing.
You might look at a lease on one right now. We got one that looks just like mine available on our lot.
Really?
Yeah,
What are the leases on those things right now?
well, I know what mine is, but I had a lot of equity going into it, so that made a difference. But you can lease them easily under 5, probably close even into 4s, just depending on
But
what
what's
you're
the
looking,
term?
what
What's
kind of
the
lease
the
you have.
lease terms? What, 3 years probably?
I'm doing a 3-year. Yeah.
See, I wish for EV, I wish they would do 1 year leases.
Yeah. Right.
I
I
really
was thinking about
do.
doing a 2-year.
Well, especially for me. I mean, obviously they're not catering to the auto
Yeah.
reviewers, but for what I would do with an EV, I think a year lease would be perfect. I could see, do I like it? Do I not? And maybe that's where Ford can make some headway of go, hey, let's let you try this thing out. Oh, oh, Tim's busy over there.
Barb's here. She got home and noticed I was on a live stream. She
Oh.
goes, move the little.
Hi, Barb. Well, I won't. I know, and I was planning on ending this here in a minute anyway, so I don't want to keep you too longer. I definitely am bummed out that I'm going to miss your event. I really had planned on being there. I didn't just say that in your stream, but I'd already committed to this one coming up. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the big picture because I know you're going to have a lot of Mavericks there, and those
Yeah.
guys, they deserve their own big community event like this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you. And hopefully your
Yeah.
dealership appreciates all the new faces that keep coming around.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have because we have about 250 members on the
Mhm.
channel, and so we'll do a special Friday night member only dinner, which we did that last year, which was so much fun just to chat with everybody. And
Mhm.
there's quite a few of those people are going to be back this year, and so we'll do that. I know, so we don't have like a ton of people, but we'll have like, I think for members we'll have about 19 or 20 of us
Mhm.
that will be there at the dinner. But we have them. What's funny is we have someone from Oregon coming,
Wow.
and Maine and California. It's like, so we need Jack to come from Florida. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
Jack. Where you at,
yeah,
Jack Evans?
come on,
Jack's
Jack.
probably at a baseball game right now. He can't worry about that.
Yeah, but
Um,
so we have several that like way far away, but not too many people. But it'll be a smaller event, and hopefully at least on Saturday we'll get the locals because we have a ton of Mavericks driving around this town.
really.
I mean you can't really go to work without seeing 2, 3 Mavericks pretty easily because I mean they benefit from customers that didn't take theirs. And
Mhm.
so then they became available, and we have so many people that come in and are like, "Oh, I want to get a new vehicle, but I don't want to, I want a cheap payment. Well, great. Well, here's a Maverick. And they're like, that'll work.
Hey,
Okay.
my son was looking at one tonight when he was over here. We were talking. He was looking at a Maverick. He was very interested because I was telling him, I was like, man, they get incredible fuel economy for what you
Yeah.
get and the ability to haul some things in the back of it. It's a great little truck.
Yeah. I mean, I had it for 9 months. I like to drive things and actually go through like a customer does and experience different things. But
Right.
my son's got a Mach-E, and I have one now too. And he's got his is select standard range, but it's not the LFP because this is a 23. But he's like, man, that drives so much different than mine. Just it's a difference in just 1 year. They've done a pretty good job on it, I think. And but yeah, it's fun to drive. And I will tell you too, to me, not to keep going about Mach-E, but I really feel like I've driven, Maverick, I've driven some other vehicles, but that vehicle inside, you just feel like you're spoiled. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got all the features. I mean, ours, mine's got the heated seats, it's got all the things on it, nice leather, it's got all the suede in there. I mean, I don't know, it's just all the little things that you don't think about that I feel like it's quality wise, and I haven't been in too many Teslas for too much, but I really believe quality wise and the build quality and drivability, I just think it's so far superior than the Tesla. But I'm probably biased. But I mean, you get in it and you just feel like, I mean, like I said, I've had a Lariat F-150, and I feel like it's got equipment like that in about every Mach-E. I mean, because they come pretty much standard with a lot of these features. You could do phone as a key if you want. I don't do that, but just different things like that. I mean, I don't know. It's for what I'm doing. I've actually lowered. I'm about $700 cheaper than my Lightning was, so I'm like,
Wow.
I'm okay with that.
Right. Well, I'll be curious how fast you have to put tires on this thing. That's been,
Yeah.
all the reports recently come out about EV owners going, whoa, I got to put tires on these things faster. And if you're
I've
going
always
around long
wondered about
corners,
brakes. If you go through brakes faster,
really?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
regenerative braking maybe, but
Yeah, maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
we'll
So,
see.
well, definitely, Wednesday
Yeah.
night, Tim's doing a live stream then.
Yeah.
You definitely guys want to go over there and be a
Stay
part
close
of
to
that.
computer. Maybe I'll call you in.
Hey, man, I'm always a phone call away, Tim.
So we're gonna do it
And
7:30 Wednesday night. We're still gonna do our live stream tomorrow night, but it'll be a
okay,
condensed version, and
nice.
then we'll just go over the normal stuff. And our main topic will pretty much slide to Wednesday night since we can't talk about Tuesday night.
Yep.
And so yeah, so we'll do that about 7:30. So we'll maybe give you an invite.
Well,
Be
cool.
good.
Yeah, no, and clearly my family's all gone. They're all in Detroit, so I have nothing else to do. So guys, I would tell you to go over to Long MacArthur, but I'm sure you're already there because Tim is he's a massive wealth of knowledge for, especially if you're ordering Ford products and you want all the updates. So definitely go over there and check them out. And Tim, I greatly appreciate you being on here tonight, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we will see you maybe Wednesday, sir.
Okay. I'll send you an invite.
All right, thank you, Tim.
All right. Thanks.
That was Tim Bartz and Ford video guy, Long MacArthur Ford. And I know Tim, I kid, but it's the truth. I always hit Tim up last minute. I'll see him in the chat and I'll be like, hey, Tim, you want to chat? He's only one time denied me. He's only been like, hey, man, I'm in the middle of something. I was like, that's fine. Don't ever feel like that you have to be here. But Tim's such a nice gentleman. And at some point between him and Alcione Ford, I will buy a Ford product from them one of these days. So, I know Mitchell, down there, I was going to order my Ranger Raptor through Mitchell and, um, Allie came through and Allie's like, hey, nobody else is trying to order these things. Come be number one, which I think I was like number 1.5 now. I never can keep up. But anyways, if you were listening to this after the fact, for one, I commend you for doing that. But two, smash that like button for me. Even then, it does, believe it or not, that helps the algorithm. And I've said it before. I think tonight I was telling Tim or you guys, July has been an awful month for us. I mean, awful, and it always is. So a like button smash can make me smile a little bit. So I greatly appreciate that. So let's see. Next week we will get to talk about the trip that we're going on, which will be to the dunes, which I'm very excited. It'll be my first time in complete sand like that. I've been in Johnson Valley, stuff like that, but this is going to be a whole different experience. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to take the old Ranger Raptor and break it in. Kelly's already up there with our Bronco, so that should be exciting. So we can have both vehicles. So like we'll have both of our toys there, and that should be fun. And like I said, depending the next couple weeks, the Ranger Raptor might be for sale. So if you're definitely interested in that, email me. Let me know. I will tell you it's not going cheap. But I'm also not here to rip anybody off. So basically, usually what I do is what I owe on the thing is what people pay. So past that, and I've got I gotta get these little covers on the thing. I've got all kinds of stuff I got to do this week to that thing, and still get to Michigan. So there you go. So that is our show tonight. I want to say thank you once again to Tim Bartz for being on here. He is a scholar and a gentleman, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Kelly, joining in for a minute. I know she was in the middle of some family things, but the story was too good that I had to tell you guys about her. My daughter was all worried in Toledo. She was just all worried that something could happen. So I wasn't there. Maybe there was something to worry about. So comments below, let me know what you think. If you ever have a show topic you want to let us know, please feel free. Instagram's a great way to get a hold of me. allterrainnationmedia@gmail.com is a great way to get a hold of me. And I'd greatly, if you guys want to talk about it, we will discuss it. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or these badass mother effing Fords that we all love to drive, this has been your All Terrain Nation. We've been talking Ford products here on the channel, and we're out. Peace, everybody. See y'all next week. I'm going to be very tired.